Nigerian government preferred Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's agitation more than Simon Ekpa's agitation? Ask me why. Simon Ekpa was very brutal on Nigerian government. He was excessively brutal, more than Mazi Nnamdi Kanu himself. They were saying that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they were crying about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but when Simon Ekpa came, that was when they shed the real tears. And they just imagine Nigerian, they were not even praising Mazi Nnamdi Kanu more than Simon Ekpa.
Okay, my wonderfully made Biafran brothers and sisters, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are. Please, let your mind not be troubled. Let your heart not caught. I will download this video. In fact, I'm going to attach it any moment from now. Yeah, just let me drop a little hint. I want to clear the ground so that you know what to expect from this very particular clip you're about to watch. Well, this message is all about comparing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to Simon Ekpa. Honestly speaking, Nigerian government have made an open
confession on different occasions, even when people don't notice what they are trying to say. Trust me, these guys are politically criminals, politically witches and wizards. Their political statement, if you don't read meaning into it, sometimes you might even think they are against you, but sometimes they are with you, but on a political terms. What am I trying to say? Do you remember that there was a time Musa came on a national TV, channel television precisely, talking about that what Simon Ekpa have did in Biafra land is just, in fact, he said it is times 10 of what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did. He said Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did a little to compare to what Simon Ekpa did. In fact, let me not say it too much. I will continue with this story, but let me allow you to see this small clip, and then we'll come back to discuss more. I don't want to bore you. I don't want to get bored. Regardez, please watch it, and make sure you share. Biko, share this message.
Do you know that Nigerian government preferred Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's agitation more than Simon Ekpa's agitation? Ask me why. Simon Ekpa was very brutal on Nigerian government. He was excessively brutal, more than Mazi Nnamdi Kanu himself. They were saying that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they were crying about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but when Simon Ekpa came, that was when they shed the real tears. And they just imagine Nigerian government, they were not even praising Mazi Nnamdi Kanu more than Simon Ekpa. So that is to tell you that for us to get this Biafra, we must use Simon Ekpa's strategy. That is the reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu brought him close to himself. I will keep on preaching this. Simon Ekpa's strategy is the best strategy on Nigerian government. And if not that they conspired with some of DOS criminals to jail Simon Ekpa, by now we would have been in Biafra. Even the DOS criminals, we are confirming that Biafra is closer than ever when Simon Ekpa was outside. To an extent that some of them we are saying, even if Simon Ekpa brings Biafra, that they are not going to come back. They are not going to be part of it. Are you hearing what some of these criminals we are saying? People that we are fighting for freedom for. They are not after the freedom. They were so sentimental and they were so self-centered because their self matters more than anything, even more than the Biafra. Their self, that their political, that their position matters to them more than anything. That money that they were collecting from Nigerian government matters to them more than anything. If you watch Iken Guruago's video some time ago, when he wanted to unalive himself, when he was telling Simon Ekpa to stop, that he knows that Simon Ekpa is doing the right thing, but that he should stop. Can you imagine? Iken Guruago, that he knows that Simon Ekpa was doing the right thing, that he's on the right track, but that he should stop. So, you people should know that Simon Ekpa was the right match for Nigeria. That was why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu brought him out. And we must use his strategy to follow Nigerian government. If not, if we follow Nigerian government smoothly, Biafra is not coming today and tomorrow. We need to drag Biafra. We need to bring Biafra by ourselves. Simon Ekpa's strategy is the best strategy to get Biafra.
Okay, a very quick one. A very wonderful one. You watch the message finish. You watch the message. And you hear what is our brother talk. He is accurately correct. Absolutely correct. Accurately correct. The story I was saying before I said, okay, let me allow you to see the clip so that you will not get bored with my voice or with my explanations. Okay, let us go down to business. Let me come down now to analyze this message to a layman's understanding. Musa, that was when they are trying to say the narrative to Finland to imprison Simon Ekpa. They come out to even praise Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a saint to compare to Simon Ekpa. Recently, there was a publication by National Security Advisor, knowing fully well that Simon Ekpa's case is coming up on the August the appeal case, which have already been won. In fact, it has already been set aside, according to the information available to us. So now they don't begin another propaganda again, praising Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who they give life sentence. Why are they doing that? To make sure that Finland government will see Simon Ekpa as the devil in the house, thus trying to give the dog a bad name to hang that dog. So that when he appealed, that the appeal will be set aside, or yes, the appeal will be set aside, but the judgment remains. The appeal court of Simon Ekpa, once he appeared that appeal day, the second day, they will set aside the judgment. But now they don't start another propaganda. I know that this propaganda have nothing to do with Simon Ekpa because Finland already knows the truth. But the big issue here now is also against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because whatever they are doing it against these two guys. Let me remind you, most of you who are calling Simon Ekpa names and Nnamdi Kanu's names, anybody who you see that the government are trying everything humanly possible to cripple, that person is seriously working against the government. In fact, the government see that person as a big threat. Any country that their politicians, I repeat, any country that their politicians are richer than the individuals, that country is doomed forever. Politics is a dirty game that people who are playing it are seeing the people they are leading as animals. Yes, they see them as animals. So each time you come out to challenge the status quo, my brother, they are going to put you behind bars. The strongest opposition and the strongest person who stood against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release is still his own brother, Oji Uzo Kalu, because proprietor of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have taken food from his mouth. If not this incarceration of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and this imprisonment and kidnapping, Oji Uzo Kalu would have remained irrelevant till now. These are the idiots who told you that they have made millions and billions, yet they are afraid of challenge when it comes to power. They tell you, oh, when I'm in the private sector, I have made millions of naira. Back then when we were growing up in the village, I used to notice this kind of a thing. The old ones who first make money before the young ones, if the young ones are trying to a kind of elevate from where they are to another level, you find out that the old fools who have made that money, whom they will always refer to as old money, will not be happy with the young ones. That's exactly why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is facing those challenges. Because all the whole politicians in the southeast, Nnamdi Kanu have collected all their shine. None of them have stage again. Stage or steez. Okay, none of them has steez again. I don't know. If not stage you or steez, if you laugh me, I'm going to join half. Since my English class we did. So none of them have any steez again. Nnamdi Kanu have stolen all their shine. So they have vowed, this small boy from where? How? Just like where you enter a line. Just okay, let us mean you enter Onitsha market now as a new money. Let me call it a new money. Maybe you flew in from abroad and you have millions to throw away. Maybe buy shops, equip your shop. My brother, the old ones in that line, the kind of magic, the kind of black magic they will do to you, they will knock you left, right, and center until that money you came inside that line will liquidate, and they will still remain. That's exactly what happens in the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the Nigerian government, and the Igbo politicians. So back to the business of comparing Simon Ekpa and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The reason why Nigerian government now are praising Mazi Nnamdi Kanu more than they supposed to praise Simon Ekpa, because they have seen Mazi Nnamdi Kanu modus operandi as being just a kind of appeal. And let me also remind us, that is the song they sang for God. Anything you put on a lion's hand, my brother, he dare not go to collect it. So these guys have already seen the country have been handed over to them and on a platter of gold. So for you to get this country out of their hands, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's method might not work. Not the method of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is to open your eyes and your brain and your thinking. Not for you to believe on one person again. No, for you to have your own mindset. You open your brain and your medulla oblongata so that you can be able to reason that what this guy is saying is the truth, that these guys have been raping us. That is the modus operandi of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But Simon Ekpa came up and told them that it's either you give us Biafra or I am war here. So that modus operandi, they don't like it. Yes, they clamp down on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu simply because they believe Mazi Nnamdi Kanu knows more than he's supposed to know. They believe Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have what they call some classified information that even Aso Rock is not aware. That classified information is the federalization agenda, conqueror's agenda. Aso Rock is not aware of that. Nnamdi Kanu have it on his archive. So they are not happy with all these things. That was why they clamped him down. If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu just come out to ordinary, oh, let's get Biafra, without not all those his preachings, telling you, look at the agenda ahead, and everything he told you, all of them have manifested. That is why they clamp him down. That is why they clamp Mazi Nnamdi Kanu down. If not like that, if not just ordinary speaking, the same way Ogechukwu Nkere is speaking now, who is looking for Oge Nkere? Nobody, because he's not a threat. But Ngozi Oradebe is a threat to them as well. And do you know how many times Bianca Ono have wrote series of petitions against Ngozi Oradebe to the government of US? They bounce her back. Whenever you see government trying to silence a voice, that voice, my brother, is a very big challenge to them. It is a very big threat to them, to their existence and to what they are doing and to their business, because they have related the country as their own. So they do whatever they like with it. If you raise up to come to challenge the status quo, my brother, your name becomes sorry. So now the government of the day now is praising Nnamdi Kanu's. In fact, they say they prefer Mazi Nnamdi Kanu than to have Simon Ekpa as a freedom fighter. You can imagine the Nigerian government making this kind of comment. But let me not waste much of your time or bore you with too much talk. Let me just dissect the comment sections and then we round up, because I say Arodachi. But V say Mazi Nnamdi Kanu warned them about upcoming Biafra freedom fighters, of course. Why Biafra Chukwebuka say, bro, your point is clear, and but all, as much as you recognize our PM sacrifices to the struggle, I am on the same page with you. Hey, before I round up or before I forgot, let me quickly also say this. Do you know that 95% of people who condemn Ekpa, when he was busy telling us that, look at what DOS are doing, that they are the one that sold Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we insulted him, not we, they, because I believed in him. They insulted the living daylight out of Simon Ekpa. Do you know that those 95% are now in favor of Simon Ekpa? And this thing still brings me back to what I always said, that I don't want Igbo na-ekele onye chiri anyị mgbe anyị richara kwụcha aka. We are the set of people who remembers who cook for us. When we must have eat, finish, drank water, and feel relaxed, then we begin to remember the person. But as a right-thinking Igbo man who believes in respect, dignity, and fairness, if somebody gives you something, what do? You first of all greet that person and thank him for at least saving you from the hunger that is troubling you. But no, you wait until you eat, finish, drink water, even you toothpick to pickle your teeth. Relax. And even bunch. A big bench. And then before you begin to remember the person who cooked the food. That's exactly whom we are. We never believe on these guys. The same way we believe on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now, the number of people that believed on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa, if those numbers believed initially, my brother, we will not be where we are today. I tell you the truth. We will not be where we are today talking about this thing again and again. But look at it now. We only remember them. We only acknowledge them. We only praise them. We only accept them when they must have been engaged. But when they are calling us, why are we just like a stiff-necked people? There are some people Bible regard as stiff-necked people. That is black man for you. Who never agree on anything unless when that thing touches him or her, then they will begin to agree. But when you see the thing from afar, just like when it is raining or rain start to fall, Igbo man will not run. They will leave their business and say, nothing they happen, nothing they happen. That's why they tell you that Igbo man never run until he got to wait on the rain onye nwoke Igbo a na-agba ọsọ mmiri unless ma mmiri mata ọ ya arụ then ọgbawazi ọsọ. That is Igbo man for you. Anyway, I don't talk much. Please let us just one or two more comments and then we round up. Chima Chike said, please host a program so that people can call in and express their feelings. Okay. Tony Chiboy Chipsy said, no be lie, oh bro. The guy was so brutal and rugged, and that's why Nigerian government caged him. Ezra Valentine said Samuel Ekpa was a match for federal government, but ex-DOS stopped Ekpa. Ex-DOS, the same ex-DOS. Okay, Paul Wike said DOS are business partners with Nigerian government. Oh my God. Anyway, what do I know? Tell me what you think about this matter at the comment section of this video. And I will hear me again on our next publication. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Until I come your way again, I still remain Okute Daily Talk 2 and blog. Kemesiano, my people.